Welcome to the SAP Entertainment Show, where we interview singers, rappers, entrepreneurs of all walks of life. And today's special guest, we have the legendary music mogul by the name of Paul Stewart. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
That's what's up. And it's great having you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
Yes. So let the world hear your story.
Okay. Well, I'm a white boy from Crenshaw, so that's kind of unique, in and of itself. I grew up in LA's, Black community, and that impacted me greatly, especially when it came to my music taste, I guess, and then I got into the music industry early. I'm a little older, so it was kind of early stages of hip hop and stuff when I first got into it, and I discovered, I worked my way up. I was a DJ, I was a street promoter when that was a very early kind of thing, street promotion. And then eventually, I discovered some artists, and I started managing artists, and some of them blew up. And along the way, I met John Singleton, and he hired me to be the music supervisor on his second film, Poetic Justice. And I got to work with Tupac and Janet Jackson, all that on that. And I've continued music supervising, and currently I'm working on Snowfall, a show on HBO Max called The Hype with Offset as a judge, and a bunch of stuff. So that's kind of a compacted version of my story, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay, so how did you get started with music?
Well, my brother loved music. He was a little bit more into rock music, and then the neighborhood seeped in on me for sure. When I was a little kid, I was collecting 45s and listening to stuff like Jackson 5 and all kind of stuff, But so I was always a big music fan. And then when I went away to college, I just kind of got bit by. I just started to hear hip hop and things like that, and this guy came to our dorm room. He was like the guy that put on the events and everything. And he said, You always play your music so that why don't you do the music for the next dance? And that basically turned me into starting to DJ. So I curated music for that first dance, and then after that, I eventually my friend got some turntables, and we just started a little DJ crew.
That's what's up. Okay, so how did you get in the music industry?
That's a good question. I didn't know anybody in the industry or anything like that, and I didn't know anything about the industry. And you gotta understand, this is way before the internet or anything, so it's much more like enclosed society. There's no way to really research these kind of things or whatever, but I was working at a record store, as I had always done, and I met a gentleman from Arista Records. I said, man, like, how do you get a job? How do you get in the industry or whatever? And he said, well, we're about to hire interns. And I ended up getting an internship at Arista Records, and that was my entree into getting, my first industry gig and breaking into the industry.
Okay. So what artists did you work with?
Well, I've been really blessed to work with a lot of artists because I'm a music supervisor, like I said, so I got to work with people like Tupac and everything like that. But the artists that I personally discovered as a manager and things like that, let's see, there was House of Pain, Far Side, Warren G, Coolio, Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It, that was on my label. Those are the biggest ones. I dealt with a lot of other artists in smaller capacities, and some artists, like, I've worked with Snoop a lot or whatever, but I wasn't like super involved in like his career when I first started or anything like that. But Warren G and Coolio and Far Side, those are the groups I'm most well associated with because I managed them for a little while after I discovered them, But, I've been working with artists. I worked with 3-6 Mafia on Hustle and Flow, and, continue to work with younger and newer artists and stuff, besides just that stuff I did back then. But those are the biggest artists I'm known for. Yeah.
For sure. I also heard that you worked with De La Soul and Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill. Yeah, Cypress Hill a lot because they were friends. We were all like coming up together at the same time. And we did, my first company was a street promotion company. It's called PMP. And we did promotion for Cypress Hill in Los Angeles when they first came out. I was friends with them even prior to that. I lived in an apartment building where Muggs, the creator of Cypress, still lived, and I saw him creating the group and stuff. And so I was always around them. But we did a lot of promotion on their first album, and that was my more like real business side of being involved with them. In regards to De La Soul, it's the same thing. My street promotion company, we worked for the label Tommy Boy that De La Soul was on out of New York. We had like a retainer with them, and we like Naughty by Nature was also on their label, and a bunch of cool Queen Latifah. And so anything they put out in LA, we were like the promoters, the street promoters for it. So, and De La was somebody I became friends with. They came to one of my birthday parties and everything. And I was huge fans of their music. And, so that was really cool for me, because that was something I was really personally really into. And it really influenced the Far Side, one of the groups that I ended up managing later.
For sure. So what inspired you to start a promotion company?
Necessity. After I had that internship at Arista, I got a job at a small record label, Delicious Vinyl, out here. They're kind of famous. They had put out Tone Loc, Wild Thing, and Young MC Bust a Move. And so I was working for them. And then my friend got a label deal at Island, and he hired me. But then his company went away, his deal went away, and I didn't have a job. And nobody wanted I thought I was going to get a job at a record company somewhere. But I hadn't really done anything. I hadn't discovered any of the groups yet or anything. And nobody wanted to give me a job. And but I had a friend named Curtis Herman, great guy. And he was a DJ on K-Day. And he had gotten this gig. He had been approached by the company about doing street promotion on a group. And, it wasn't really his thing. He was a DJ. He said, hey, how about Paul? How about I bring you in and we do this together? I'll play the song in my mix and you go out and promote it. So that's how it started. I went and printed up business cards and my street promotion company was born. And it was very lively and active. That at that time, like at that house, like Muggs would stay there sometimes. Like I said, he was building the first Cypress Hill album. The Booyah Tribe, these crazy, big Samoan guys used to come over. It was because my roommate was a famous DJ and I can say now weed dealer, and then I was a street promoter and I had like all this vinyl from companies like, groups like De La Soul or all this great like stuff DJs wanted. So our house was, and it was right on Melrose too. So our house was just, and that was the headquarters of my promotion company, was just like hip hop central, like all kind of people. Oh, Gangstar, first time they come to LA, they come by. People would just come by and most of the LA, you met a lot of LA artists and DJs and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Good time.
That's what's up. So you just was busy. So I would like to know about the time you was hired by Russell, the Def Jam West.
Sure. Well, what happened was I was working for John Singleton. John had hired me. He had a label through Epic Records. I was music supervising Poetic Justice, and I was running his record label. And we were also partners in a management company. And at that time, I had brought in my management clients, which were Farside and Coolio. Farside had come out a little bit and, had a nice little buzz. Coolio hadn't even come out yet. And through the process of working on Poetic Justice and dealing with the Death Row camp, I met Warren G. And I ended up playing it for my friend Chris Lighty. I ended up playing a song that Warren produced for my friend Chris Lighty, who worked for Russell. And he was like, and Warren also rapped on the song. The song is In No Smoke, the first single from Poetic Justice. And so Chris called me and said, hey, who's the other rapper? And I go, oh, that's Warren G, Snoop's DJ, Dr. Dre's brother, whatever. Next thing I know, Russell Simmons is calling me. It's kind of a funny story because he called me, when I was at John's office, and I knew him, but he didn't really mess with me, and, he's a big guy, and I'm just coming up in the industry, and he had passed on the Far Side, a group that, I was managing and everything. He didn't want to sign him and everything, and he called and, he's got that heavy lisp, his voice is very distinct, and I thought it was one of my friends like playing a game on me, and I cussed Russell Simmons out. I was like, look, I'm busy. Stop playing games. I don't know who this is. I think I hung up on him, and he called back. I know this is Russell, Paul. It's like I was whoa, But anyway, so Russell said we want to hire Warren, and then him and Leor met me, and they were just like, oh wow, like you got it going on. Like they had kind of missed the whole West Coast movement. Death Row came in, and Def Jam was feeling kind of a little out of it. They had not really, and so when they met me and saw how plugged in I was, and they just were excited, so they offered me a. Well, my attorney told me, I said, they want to get in business with me. What should I do? And he said, tell me you want a label. I said, they're not going to give me my own label. Like I said, not much of the stuff I am later known for had happened yet. But I asked them, and they said, yeah. And it was, the labels back then, they were quick to give them out because they were production deals. And it's like, I only got a couple points on the it's branded on, my company under Def Jam, and it sounds real good and everything. But you can't, it'd be really hard to get rich make a lot of money doing that way. Cause like I said, you got a couple points on the album more or less on top of whatever maybe you beat the artist up to take one more point off, it was kind of the industry, So that was how I got in business with Def Jam, and they gave me that label deal, and it was short lived, but I did sign a couple of very successful things. Mostly Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It, and the Dove Shack, Warren G's group. Warren G's album came out on Chris Lighty's imprint, but me and him got executive producer credit on it.
For sure. That's good. So when you left Def Jam, you became vice president of Virgin Records. Tell me a little bit about that.
After Def Jam, I had a deal at Loud first. So I got a deal with Loud Records, and I had a label over there for a little while, and I did some cool stuff. I signed a group called Delinquent Habits, which was affiliated with Cypress Hill, that had a nice little LA buzz. And then I had a big deal, but I wasn't making a lot of money, and those kind of deals were going out of favor. It was right when the record industry started to change. Mm-hmm. It was like Napster was happening and everything already, so it was right before the change. And so I lost my label deal, and I got, that was the first time I ever went like in-house, because I'd always been like having my own label or a manager or working for like a smaller company, and so I went inside and did A&R for a big company, Virgin, and yeah, I hated it.
So I did learn that you executive produced some albums. Can you talk to me about or name the albums that you executive produced?
Well, the main one I did is the Warren G album, the Regulate album, the Regulate era or whatever. His first album, it went triple platinum. That was they say it saved Def Jam. Def Jam was in, Russell said that they were about to go bankrupt at that time, and so that album really saved them. As a manager, I didn't take executive producer credit on like the Far Side album or any. I think maybe I got it on one of some of Coolio's albums or whatever, but it wasn't a title that I went out of my way to get. I mean, we put it on some of the albums that I was involved in through the label, but there's not a huge amount, And as a music supervisor, I don't get that either. You know what I mean? But I've been involved in some pretty cool soundtracks as a music supervisor. I mean, Poetic Justice obviously is an influential soundtrack, and
very
right. And then Hustle and Flow, more recently. I also did Fast and Furious 2, which was a big deal. It was John Singleton's only foray into the Fast and Furious. I did Four Brothers. Those are some of the more impactful things that I've done to date. Been working on Snowfall, like I said, but I have some more things coming up.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
We had to dig in your past, so the people can know who you are,
Appreciate that.
Another thing, I learned that you worked with Lady Gaga. How did that work?
What happened was Troy Carter, who was Lady Gaga's original manager, had a management company. Before that, he was Eve's manager. And at one point, I came on board and worked with him and dealt with some of his clients, Jadakiss, Freeway, and Styles P were the clients that I was looking after. And it was right around the time I was working on Hustle and Flow and stuff, and I ended up leaving and taking a job at Puma doing music marketing. And later, when Gaga started to take off, Puma had done a deal for a show with her when she really wasn't anybody. And then by the time the show came up, she was like popping, and there were problems. They didn't really want to do some shit. And so because I knew Troy, I got on the phone with him and we talked, and he started going, "Hey man, what are you up to?" And I told him that I was building a music licensing company. And he said, "Oh, I'm really interested in that." And so what happened is Troy became a partner in my music licensing company. So I didn't actually officially work with Lady Gaga, but I worked very closely with Troy Carter, who was her manager at that time. I had a side business with Troy while he was managing Lady Gaga. So I want to make that clear.
For sure. Yes, for sure.
I don't like to try to take credit for anything I didn't actually do.
For sure. So let's talk about Snowfall. So what is your involvement with Snowfall?
I'm a music consultant, and I helped them. This season, I got to do something really cool. One of the characters is a rapper. And so we created a song, to sound like it came out in 86, you know what I mean? And so I got some great producer friends of mine, these guys, the co-stars, and they did the track. And WC of WC and the Mad Circle, who's a consultant on Snowfall since the beginning, he wrote the rap. And that's going to be coming out this season. And I just helped them introduce them to a lot of LA people, and there's a music supervisor on the show. I'm just a consultant, but so I'm kind of more like a special agent. Like I help them. I'm kind of an expert in this era of music in LA because I was DJing in LA in that time, and so. And just being an old school LA dude, I know a lot of these people personally and stuff, and so I help them like that, But it's just a real honor. I mean, John Singleton single-handedly did more for my career than anybody, and it's kind of, our story is kind of crazy because he met me right after, he had done Boys in the Hood. He had already like filmed Poetic Justice, but he needed somebody to help him with the music. So it was like just perfect timing. And he had just gotten this label deal at Epic. So I needed somebody to run that for him. And he met me and he was really impressed by me. And so he gave me that opportunity. And it didn't last very long. And when I went to Def Jam, as I was telling you the story with Warren G and everything, they gave me the label and everything. At first, John was mad at me because he had thought he wanted to sign Warren G to his label, but his label had very small budgets, and there's a lot of factors, but John was mad and stayed mad at me for a little while. And then I kept seeing him out, and, we got cooler and cooler, but, so that I didn't work with him for like 10 years, after Poetic Justice. I didn't do Baby Boy or Higher Learning or, any of these films. But when he started working on Fast and Furious 2, he was like, I think he was way over what had made him mad before, and I think he valued what I had brought, you know what I mean? He thought I would be good for that. And he called me, and from then on, I was back. I did Fast and Furious 2, I did Four Brothers, I did Hustle and Flow, and then he got me on Snowfall as much as he could, when he did. And so it just means a lot to me to be on that show because, John, just such a huge impact on my career. And now I kind of feel like, because he's not around, like with the music taste or whatever, I'm like the closest thing, so to speak, because I knew him intimately, what he liked musically and stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I try to like, it's kind of like, I'm not trying to make some heavy deal of responsibility, but I mean, it's a little deep, you know what I mean? So it's like, that he passed and everything, so yeah, Snowfall, man, I just think it's a great show, and it's an honor. Yeah, it's a real honor to work on it. And I live in Crenshaw, born and raised in Crenshaw, and I've moved around in different parts of LA. But for a while, I've been back ever since they've been filming Snowfall, and it's been wonderful. Like I would just go on the set. I haven't really gone. I don't think this was John passed or anything, but I used to go on the set. They always filming in South Central somewhere, so it's right up the street. You know what I mean? I was able to introduce some young filmmakers to John. like this guy Calmatic, who's blowing up right now. He did the house party thing and all stuff. I took him on the set. John was like his idol. You know what I mean? I got to introduce him to and stuff. And so it's amazing that Snowfall has been right here in the community and impacting the community where I live. And you know what I mean? And so, and when I tell people around here I work on that show, that's like even though I did all this other stuff before, a lot of people, they're like, people introduce me now, this guy does Snowfall. And like, that's cool. I'm not mad. Like, whatever, you know, say whatever. But, you know, it's kind of funny, you know, a little bit, you know.
Yeah. I mean, but that's cool. You know, you got some cool points.
It's relevant. It's very current, relevant. And it's a great show. And yeah, I'm proud to be a part of it. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anything new that we should be looking forward to?
Well, I'm working on that show, The Hype on HBO Max. I have a book company called Over the Edge Books, where we publish a lot of like edgy urban hip hop stuff, you know, street fiction and nonfiction photography and art and different stuff. I'm supposed to be working on this new documentary about Old Dirty Bastard. That's really new, so I really can't talk about much.
Yeah, for sure.
And my documentary, A White Boy from Crenshaw, you know, is in its early stages, but there's a trailer, and we're trying to get that cracking. So keep your eye peeled for it. Follow me on social media, Paul_DJP_Stewart. And if, you know, you got music you want me to hear or a book you want me to read or script or something, you know, I'm definitely trying to move into producing more film and TV, you know, so, you know, people can hit me up if they got someone to check out. I definitely try to respond to, you know, I have Facebook, but I don't really read it. So don't write me there, but Instagram, but Instagram, I'll see it and, you know, I'll try to respond. You know,
that's what's up. So if you can do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Wow. Well, a lot of my big hits, I was a manager, so I didn't have any equity in them. So them songs, I hear them every week as I hear them playing. I'm not making no money off them. So I would have probably tried to arrange my situation differently from the beginning to get a little equity off it. But like, you're a kid, what do you know? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand the business. I'm a hip hop fan. I'm just getting thrown in a mix. You know what I mean? So overall, I just would have been more on top of my business, you know, because for the first several years of my career, it was just like kind of a party. It was just like, you know, I mean, it's like I'm a DJ, I'm a street promoter. I mean, like, I come from the, you know, the salt of the earth, the grind, the gutter so much, almost so to speak, of like the hip hop industry and the real part of the culture and everything. So I got into it because I loved it, which is great and everything, you know what I mean? But and there's a lot of blessings for it to be that way for me, I think. But I wasn't prepared for the business side. And so I got beat up a lot, you know. But I feel very blessed. And my story kind of has more character now. Like the White Boy from Crenshaw trailer is a lot more interesting because I had those ups and downs. My story is a lot more interesting than some white guy that came in and was smart enough to grab publishing from people. You know what I mean? It's like, and I was always super artist friendly, so I don't want to look back and go, oh man, you know. I certainly don't regret that I wasn't like didn't jerk artist. I mean, to be a little more aggressive on my side, so I would be, you know, but it's a fine line. You know what I mean? Because everyone has a different opinion, you know, but it's really nice that I have so much good vibes in the industry and in LA. I just hang out in the streets out here in Crenshaw. And people come up to me all the time. Like, oh man, you know, you help my cousin, my uncle. Ooh, oh, Paul, you're the OG. Help me with this. How do I do that? You know, and it's like, there's no bad vibes. No one's running up on me talking about you jerked me or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't need security. I'm very comfortable. Like, you know what I mean? So there's advantages to the good karma route that I took, you know what I mean? So, and you know, I'm still hustling, so I'm trying to get that big check now. Better late than never, you know what I mean?
Well, you're looking at somebody that's willing to work with you also. If you need actor, producer, I'm right here.
Keep in touch. Keep in touch. I love to expand my network and link with new people all the time. That's exciting for me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yes. So, what advice would you give young artists, entrepreneurs trying to follow your footsteps?
Well, you know, a lot of people ask me because people like to want to be music supervisors because it's kind of a unique, different kind of job and it sounds really cool, but it's really hard to get into. So in regards to that, and then also like A&R, you know, discovering artists, I mean, that's something that, you know, people want to do. So yeah, I get asked a lot. In like the most general sense, because like, you know, I could give really specific advice, but it might not apply, you know, to some people. You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to be passionate and very hardworking. But you know, some people work hard, but if like it's towards something that's not going to work, then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You have to be realistic. Like with music, I mean, you know, everything that I had that was good, a lot of that made a lot of money later. Some people that got paid to decide what was good told me it wasn't good. So you do have to believe in your stuff. But at a certain point, like some people are, you can't be delusional. Like, you know, you got to read the signs. You know what I mean? Like if everybody's saying this, you know, they're probably not wrong. You know what I mean? So, but having faith in yourself is really important. Believing in yourself, not letting the naysayers get you down, learning from your mistakes, studying your craft, whatever it is. If you're an artist, get them 10,000 hours in. If you're a business person, read books about other successful music industry people, you know, listen to podcasts, you know, try to get mentors. That's a good one for everybody. Try to get mentors, you know, network. And something that Issa Rae said that I thought was really smart recently too is like, you know, everybody wants to get to, you know, Kanye or whatever, or whoever, you know what I mean? But it's like network across. So it's like you're here, find other people that's in a similar spot to you that maybe actually could benefit from networking with you, not trying to reach for the stars for somebody that has people tweeting at them all day long, every day, and there's so much noise. How do they discern that yours is cool? And you're putting all that energy into tweeting at celebrities or, you know, whatever. I'm just giving examples, but, you know, trying to track these kind. It's like when you go to these events and there's people that speak, like I heard someone say the other day, it was like she met somebody really important that ended up changing her life. And it was like everybody else ran up to like the famous person on the panel. But she went up to this business person and that business person ended up connecting her, you know what I mean? In a way. So it's kind of like that too. Like everybody want to, you know, thinking that like, oh, if I could just get this, you know, this person who seems really, but it's like the person that have so many people, you know, and you might luck out like that, but, you know, network across, build with your people that are at the similar stages you are and bring value.
For sure.
Right. Bring value. Like, I'm open to like young people coming to me and wanting to work with me and all kind of stuff if they bring value. Sure. You know what I mean? Like I'll give them the opportunity then if I see like, well, this is more work for me than like what you're doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so yeah.
For sure.
A lot of advice. Huh?
Yes. Is there a question that I may have missed that you would like to share with the audience?
No, I thought you did a good job, though, you know. If there's anything else you want to ask me, that's fine. But no, I thought it was good, yeah.
Yeah, I think I asked you pretty much what, you know, I wanted the audience to know about you, you know. And you guys heard it. So we're going to end this segment. Okay. Thank y'all for tuning in to SAP Entertainment Show with me, your girl, SarahSoulstress, and the great Paul Stewart. And make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, and also follow him. Yeah.
Check me out at Paul_DJP_Stewart. And also my company, View Park Records. That's the record label I started. We're accepting submissions for that and stuff, you know. So that's on Instagram. The View Park Records is on Instagram and YouTube. And my personal one is on Instagram, you know. So yeah, check me out. And thanks for the interview. It was great.
Thank you so much. And we shall meet again.
Yeah, keep in touch.
Yes. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care.